Tonight, a new twist in the Malibu crash involving Bruce Jenner. An Associated Press source says video from an MTA bus contradicts what was originally reported. CBS 2's Lori Perez has the latest.
Initial reports of the fatal accident along PCH had Bruce Jenner at the tail end of a chain reaction crash where a Lexus rear-ended a Prius and then Jenner's Escalade pushed the Lexus into oncoming traffic. 69-year-old Kim Howe was killed when a Hummer hit her car. But AP sources now say video shows Jenner's SUV hit both cars and the Lexus never did hit the Prius to begin with.
The Malibu Lost Hills Sheriff's Department told ET that Jenner could be charged with misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter.
Seems like the worst case scenario. You could spend a year in a county jail.
The men's county jail. It is an enormous problem that they would put trans women in a men's county jail.
In May, Jenner was hit with a wrongful death suit by Howe's stepchildren, who claimed that she was careless, negligent, and reckless at the time of the crash.
An Olympic athlete, and having this huge secret, covering it up just to, please society and the media, and even in later age, 60-something years old, to even do what she did, that takes courage.
Caitlyn Jenner delivered an emotional speech at the ESPYs in Los Angeles Wednesday night.
But this transition has been harder on me than anything I could imagine.
Prosecutors will not file charges against Caitlyn Jenner in connection to a deadly car crash. Prosecutors say Jenner was driving an Escalade in February when she hit two cars. A 69-year-old woman in Malibu died from the crash.
Caitlyn Jenner was voted Woman of the Year. Her first year as a woman. Ain't that something? Beat every bitch in Detroit. She's better than all of you.
It was easier to come out as trans than as a Republican candidate. It was a lot tougher to sell. It was a lot tougher to sell. It was a lot tougher to sell.
Folks, welcome to episode 190 of ARP. And as you saw by the intro, this episode is about the hit and run that many of you never heard about from 2015. That's right, Caitlyn Jenner's hit and run. Disclaimer, there's a thing called dead naming. Every single social media platform, every single video hosting platform, whether it be YouTube or any other out there, all right, that's Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is. It's a thing called dead naming. If I say anything other than Caitlyn Jenner, this video will be taken down. My account will be banned. You'll never see the content. So my content is good. I want you to see it. I want you to share it. So know that I have to say certain things. I have to abide by certain guidelines. So you, my friends, have to deal with it on this wonderful, wonderful episode 190 of ARP. Follow us at Uncensored AR, across all social media platforms. Hit the subscribe button right now. Hit the follow button right now. Like this video, comment, and share. Before you even watch it, just share the damn video. I need your help. Search ARP across all podcast platforms. That is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, iHeartRadio, everything out there. All right, everything out there. It's ARP. Very simple, 3 letters, ARP. Go to ar.wtf. That's a lot easier than spelling www.americanreveille.wtf. That's americanreveille.wtf. It's so much easier, ar.wtf, for the latest and greatest blogs, content, podcasts, videos, updates, everything and more, ar.wtf. And if you love what we're doing, go right up to the top, hit that little button that says donate, and give what you can. All right, give what you can. But listen, I learned something. All right, I made a video the other day, a short video. All right, it was like a minute. All right, and it was me sweeping the garage, reacting to Joe Rogan. All right, Joe Rogan and Kyle Dunnigan. Let me give him some credit, please. Talking about Caitlyn Jenner and her hit and run from 2015. This video that I made got 110,000+ views in the first 48 hours. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys. 110,000 views in the first 48 hours. And I read thousands and thousands of comments. Thousands. All right. It was a lot of freaking reading. I'm tired. I noticed something. I noticed that a crap ton of people crap ton of young people, not everybody, but a crap ton of people have no idea that Caitlyn Jenner may or may not have killed somebody with a car in 2015. So I did what any good little Jewish boy would do. I pulled out a piece of paper and I made a timeline. That's right, folks. I made a timeline because within 2 months of possibly killing a woman with a car in an accident, Caitlyn Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner and was on the cover of Vanity Fair. That's right. I made a timeline, folks. So let's go to that timeline right now. Shrink the screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, down to brass tacks. Here we are at this beautiful timeline that I made courtesy of MS PowerPoint. Caitlyn Jenner, hit and run 10-month timeline brought to you by American Reveille, my company. This all happened in 2015. There's 5 events, and we base the entirety of episode 190 today on these 5 events. Some of them we talk about a lot. Some of them we talk about a tiny bit, but they kind of all flow together and you can see where this goes. February 7th, 2015, Caitlyn Jenner rear ends an SUV. April 24th, Caitlyn Jenner reveals I am a woman. July 15th, Caitlyn Jenner receives the ESPY Courage Award. September 30th, no charges. November 9th, Caitlyn Jenner receives Woman of the Year. Just like you saw Dave Chappelle say at the beginning of this episode, not even her first year as a woman, and she beat every single lady in Detroit. Folks, I'm not going to dig too deep into this right now because we're going to go through it one by one. Let's hit an article. All right, so here we are. We're starting with February 7th. All right, we're starting with February 7th. And now, really quick, you're going to notice something a little different about this episode. I just want to put it out there really quick. I am not going to say anything one way or the other in this episode. I'm going to leave any opinion up to you. I don't want this to be a speculative episode where I guess the whole time and I give you a big crazy rant about something. What I want to do with this episode is present to you some facts. Just some facts, put in order. Not any special order, just the order in which they occurred, right? Just like when you call customer service and they say, we'll get to your call in the order in which it was received. Well, Caitlyn Jenner will get to your order. All right, she'll get to your order when she gets to it, folks. She'll get to your order in the order in which it happened. All right, and that's what we're doing right now. We're starting with an article from The Sun. Sorry for your loss. Did Caitlyn Jenner accidentally kill someone? When did this article come out? April 23rd, 2021. It seems these articles just sprinkle out. And it seems that amnesia runs rampant. It runs absolutely rampant. Is what Caitlyn Jenner did right? Is what Caitlyn Jenner did wrong? I have no idea. It's up to you. You're going to have to look at the facts. We're going to have to go through the articles. All right. Jenner was spotted wearing a Caitlyn for California cap just hours after announcing her plans to run for governor this month. But what do we know about her past? Did Caitlyn Jenner accidentally kill someone? Caitlyn, who was then known as, can't say that, was driving a Cadillac 4x4 and towing a dune buggy when she slammed into the back of Kim Howe's Lexus in Malibu, California. Kim had to put on her brakes seconds before, and her vehicle was shunted into the path of a Humvee, a big Humvee 4x4. Animal rights activist Kim, 70, from Calabasas, California. Coincidence, maybe not a coincidence. Previously, the city in which Joe Rogan lived. animal rights activist. Another article I read proclaimed her as an actress. Another article I read proclaimed her as a blue-collar worker. But either way, this article states animal rights activist Kim, 70, not to be confused with Kim Kardashian. That would be a very different fate if that happened in 2015. But Kim, 70, from Calabasas, California, she died at the scene. So Caitlyn, coming up from behind, towing a dune buggy, where'd you come from, where'd you go, slam in the back of Kim, oh no, whack. And she goes, voom, veers over, voom, veers into oncoming traffic, and kabam, splat, kapooey. Unfortunately, she passed away at the scene. In 2019, Kim's stepdaughter, Dana Howe, told Sun, "It robbed us of the chance to say goodbye to Kim." That's messed up. That is messed up. It's disgusting and messed up that somebody would have to deal with losing their mother in that way. A friend called me and told me Kim had been in an accident. I was in total shock and was praying I could see her again. She and my father were together for 30 years, and we didn't always get on. But when my dad died, we got closer. She said that I saved her life by reaching out to her. It meant a lot to have a friendship with her at the time. We had some good times together. I looked at her more as a role model. We became estranged again before the crash, and we never got a chance to reconcile. I have no ill feelings towards Caitlyn. What happened was an accident, but there was that thought that I might get to meet her and that she would say, "It was a terrible accident. I'm really sorry for your loss." So what did Caitlyn Jenner say about the accident? After the accident, Caitlyn released a statement wishing her, quote, "heartfelt and deepest sympathies to those hurt. My heartfelt and deepest sympathies go out to the family and loved ones, and to all of those who are involved or injured in this terrible accident. Yeah. It is a devastating tragedy, and I cannot pretend to imagine what this family is going through at this time. Yeah. I'm praying for them, yeah, and I'll continue to cooperate in every way possible. Yeah. She wasn't charged with a crime after the Los Angeles District Attorney determined she was driving below the speed limit and engaged her brakes before the impact. There's Caitlyn Jenner, and there's Kris Jenner, as you know from the reality television show. Dana and her brother William Howe launched a wrongful death lawsuit saying Caitlyn had been negligent. Caitlyn's legal team called the accident that resulted in Kim's death a terrible tragedy, but deny the reality star should have been financially responsible to the Howe's stepchildren and ask that the case be dismissed. They later came to an undisclosed settlement with the star. So what we learn? We learned that Caitlyn Jenner hit a car from behind while towing a dune buggy, knocked that car into oncoming traffic. All right. The driver's side of that vehicle was struck at a high speed by a Humvee. All right. Head-on collision and killed after being hit into that oncoming traffic by Caitlyn Jenner. This happened in 2015. That's what we learned. All right. And we learned that the 70-year-old driver that was rear-ended by Caitlyn Jenner was killed by a Humvee. All right. We vaguely learned that the charges that could have been applied were never, ever, ever filed. But we'll get into more detail. All right. I just wanted to clarify. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. We learned, everybody knows, it's established 2015, Caitlyn Jenner driving a Humvee, towing a dune buggy, slaps a car in the butt from behind. The car goes, ooh, flies into oncoming traffic, and kaboom, splat. One deceased and one Caitlyn Jenner, pre-Caitlyn Jenner, going, oh no, what do I do? Facing jail time. Folks, let's get back to the timeline. All right, folks. So, February 7th, Caitlyn Jenner rear-ends SUV into another vehicle, launching it into opposing traffic An oncoming Humvee hits the vehicle, killing the driver. All right. Then, about 2 months later, all right, February, March, April, a little over 2 months later, Caitlyn Jenner reveals, "I am a woman," in an interview with Diane Sawyer, followed by the infamous "Call Me Caitlyn" Vanity Fair cover shoot. All right? You remember the Vanity Fair cover shoot? Many people do. They remember Caitlyn Jenner on the cover in that dress. Pretty much everybody remembers. What they don't remember is the February 7th. All right, the February 7th possible vehicular manslaughter. All right. Caitlyn Jenner reveals, "I am a woman," April 24th, 2015, a little over 2 months after February 7th, when the incident occurred. So let's read really quick about exactly what Vanity Fair thought about Caitlyn Jenner 2 months after. So here we are looking at this. It says July 2015 right there. But the entire interview, the shoot was done. It was all done in April. All right. All of these things, they were thought about not 2 months after. It's not like Caitlyn woke up in April and said, "I'm going to be on the cover of Vanity Fair." This stuff was planned a month or two in advance, around the time February 7th. Vanity Fair, "Call Me Caitlyn." I'm going to read this, all right? I'm going to read this to you. Bear with me. You need to hear it. I know it's going to be difficult, but please listen to it and take it in, all right? It's very important. It wasn't quite "Call Me Ishmael," but "Call Me Caitlyn" made a whale of a splash. One could hardly find a news channel the past couple days that wasn't touting the former Jenner for her courageous transgender metamorphosis or admiring her gorgeous new look. Within moments of the release of Vanity Fair's July cover featuring Caitlyn Jenner, Twitter was trending that she looks a little like OMG Jessica Lange. I hope I said that name right. In the brightest moment of the day, Lange, when asked over the phone for comment on her trending, said, "What does that mean?" Upon being tutored by the caller, the internet-free Lange graciously said, "That's so wonderful." Before proceeding, let's pause, shall we, to stipulate what we wish Jenner. We wish her the best in her new life. It must be terribly difficult, right after what happened on February 7th, to find oneself not at home in one's physical and societally recognized self. Obviously, no one would go through such a doubtless trying process to become entirely another, or rather to make the skin fit, if this weren't a real and devastating situation that many feel requires remedy. What does that mean? Make the skin fit? I'm not even going to play this video. What concerns me here is the cultural, primarily media treatment. All right, remember, this is 2 months after February 7th, after what happened with the vehicle, with the lady, with the Humvee, with the oncoming traffic, with the bickety bam, bada bing, bada boom, bada RIP. Caitlyn Jenner's at home going, "Oh no, what's going to happen to me? Ooh, what do I do? Oh, wait, I have an idea. He. See, I could be a famous rapper. I just made all of that rhyme. That was amazing. So here we are 2 months after. They're concerned primarily about how Caitlyn Jenner feels, about how her feelings are, about how she needs to make the skin fit. Nobody's talking about what happened on February 7th. All right? Nobody is talking about it at all. All right? From the interview in April with Diane Sawyer, to the Vanity Fair cover, to the breathless media coverage this week, one's overwhelming sense is that Caitlyn Jenner, and only incidentally transgenderism, is the next new thing. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Transgenderism is the next big thing. That's literally in this article. They're treating these things in a certain way that I cannot specify or say on this video on these platforms. All right. But when you say something like next new thing about an identity, whatever that identity may be, I don't believe those things necessarily mix, because one sounds like sales and marketing and the other sounds like something else. It continues to say every moment needs a celebrity, and we've come to accept, and Jenner is the self-appointed transgender community poster girl. That's right. We've come to accept it. We've come to accept it. Jenner, the self-appointed transgender community's poster girl. But is Jenner really the best face for such a profound experience? No offense to her plastic surgeon, though many of us remember Jenner as the stunning 1976 Olympic decathlon gold medalist. The erstwhile Wheaties model is best known to a younger generation as Dad in the reality television series Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I can't speak to the appeal of the show, having never watched it, but few could have escaped exposure to the Kardashian name and the family's most infamous daughter, Kim, who lurched to notoriety owing to a sex tape and her friendship with fellow exhibitionist Paris Hilton and her rather robust derriere. So I feel like there should have been a comma there after Paris Hilton, because it sounds like they're referring to Paris Hilton's large ass, when in fact it's Kim Kardashian's large ass. But either way, their entire family fame, all right, after a certain legal case, let's just say, comes pretty much from Kim Kardashian's large ass. To put it bluntly, and I have to change the wording on this when I read it out loud, Caitlyn Jenner has been a media personality for hire for most of her existence. All right. It is really appropriate to elevate Jenner to such heroic and adjectival heights as bold and courageous, when many transgender people will conduct their own struggles privately and indeed courageously, with a question mark. So basically what they're saying is, because Caitlyn has spent her entire life in the limelight, she is more courageous, more bold, and more better than all the other transgenders out there. Caitlyn seems to need the applause of an audience as much as she needs the transformation itself. Her protestations in the Vanity Fair profile to the contrary. All right. I can't read this anymore. I can't. Let's get back to the timeline. FTLOG. And if you don't know what that means, look it up. All right, so here we are. We're looking at the timeline. February 7th, Caitlyn Jenner rear-ends the SUV, kills the lady. April 24th, Caitlyn Jenner reveals I am a woman. That's a little over 2 months. July 15th, Caitlyn Jenner receives the Arthur Ashe Espy Courage Award in Los Angeles for extreme bravery. LGBT plus and trans rights groups rally around Caitlyn Jenner. You know, at this moment, most of them don't support Caitlyn Jenner, but at the time, many did. All right. July 15th, Caitlyn Jenner receives the Courage Award. Many people scratched their head and said, what? But nobody thought about anything. Most people had never heard that Caitlyn Jenner did anything back in February. It was almost as if nothing had ever occurred at all. So then September 30th rolls around. A couple months pass by, and September 30th rolls around, and the DA comes out and they say no charges against Caitlyn Jenner because they couldn't prove the victim wasn't at fault. All right. Caitlyn legally changes her name 1 week prior. And, you know, I want to talk about that for a second. So let's kick it back to the big screen for 1 minute here. So listen, here's the whole thing, all right? Caitlyn gets this award back in July or whatever. All these things happen. The momentum is building. The pressure is building on the DA. The DA comes around September, says, you know what? We can't put any charges on this. None of this is going to work out. We see that Caitlyn Jenner was going under the speed limit. We see that Caitlyn Jenner hit the brake, be it was only for 1 second, and we see that the person in front of them was going around the speed limit, maybe a little bit faster. We don't know if the person that died hit the brakes, didn't hit the brakes. They basically, because the person that died was dead, weren't able to prove that Caitlyn did anything wrong. So whether Caitlyn did anything wrong or didn't do anything wrong, that's up for our own speculation. That's not for me to say anything. That's for you to decide. That's for you to think about. But what we do know, all right, what we do know is that something was going on, all right, something was going on that caused Caitlyn to crash into the back of this vehicle. The vehicle veered into oncoming traffic. It was hit by a Humvee. The driver, all right, the driver with a questionable profession, could be anything, since 10 different articles gave her 10 different articles. The 70-year-old driver, all right, Miss Howe, she died. All right, she died. And they couldn't prove that she hit the brakes or not. They couldn't prove that she did anything right or wrong because she was dead. And since they could prove that Caitlyn hit the brakes for a millisecond, not even a misdemeanor charge. I don't know who's wrong or right. Like I said, it's up to you. I provide the facts, for I am just a humble Jew. Folks, all right, folks, we need to get back to the timeline. But first, we're going to read this article by Digital Spy. All right, folks, we've made it this far. Here we are. Caitlyn Jenner will not face charges over fatal Malibu accident with a car. Caitlyn Jenner will not be charged over a Malibu car accident that left another driver dead earlier in the year. The LA District Attorney Office said in a press statement today, September 30th, that it rejected the case because it could not be shown that Jenner acted in an unreasonable manner just before the crash. What does that even mean? They're about to crash and they go, should I be polite or should I be unreasonable? The investigation found that Jenner was traveling slightly below the speed limit and minimally slower than the victim, and it hit the brakes seconds before the impact. Jenner's criminal attorney, Blair Burke, told Digital Spy, "We believe from the start that a thorough and objective investigation would clear Caitlyn of any criminal wrongdoing. We are heartened. The district attorney has agreed that even a misdemeanor charge would be inappropriate. A traffic accident, however devastating and heartbreaking when a life is lost, is not necessarily a criminal matter." Actress, see, this one says actress. Actress Kim Howe was killed in the multi-vehicle collision on Malibu's Pacific Coast Highway last February. Her family are currently pursuing civil action against Jenner. Prior to today's decision by the LA District Attorney's Office, the Los Angeles County Sheriff was said to have recommended a misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter charge be filed against Jenner. Last week, the reality star made headlines for receiving court approval to legally change her name to Caitlyn Jenner as part of her transition a week before charges were dropped. That is when the name was finally changed. Let's go back to the timeline one last time. So here we are. As you saw, September 30th, the DA files no charges against Caitlyn Jenner. And then just a week or two later, November 9th, days and days away, just right there, right around the corner, Caitlyn Jenner receives the Woman of the Year award, proclaiming, quote, "I never in a million years ever thought I would be here, and I bet you never ever thought I would either." That is a 10-month minus 2-day, give or take 2 or 3 day timeline between the February 7th crash that took the life of a 70-year-old woman and the transition and winning of the Woman of the Year award by Caitlyn Jenner. 10 short months. All right. So you've learned some facts. Let's go over it really quick, but we're going to get back to the big screen for that. Then we're going to wrap this baby up, and I'll see you on the next episode after we talk. So here we are. We're back in the saddle. We went through this whole episode. We did the quick and dirty. February 7th, we have the crash, all right? Caitlyn Jenner crashes the SUV into another vehicle, launching it into opposing traffic. An oncoming Humvee hits the vehicle, kills the driver. She dies on the scene. All right, folks, dies right on the scene. And then 2 months later, Caitlyn Jenner reveals "I am a woman" in her interview with Diane Sawyer, followed by the Call Me Caitlyn Vanity Fair cover shoot. We went over that article. I showed you the shoot. I showed you how they talk about her, the flowery terms, the large words, and the forgetfulness they seem to have about an incident that occurred just 2 months prior. July 15th, Caitlyn Jenner receives the Arthur Ashe ESPY Courage Award in LA for extreme bravery. LGBT plus and trans rights groups rally around Caitlyn Jenner. September 30th, after pressure, the LA DA announces no charges filed against Caitlyn Jenner. Nothing whatsoever. Not even a misdemeanor, because they couldn't prove the victim wasn't even a little bit at fault. And then just a week or two later, November 9th, Caitlyn Jenner receives the Woman of the Year award. Congratulations to Caitlyn Jenner. Obviously better than all other women in the United States and around the world. All right, folks, I'm going to leave you with those facts. I can't make an opinion. I can't have an opinion. I'm sure you know what my opinion is, but I can't say an opinion, or I will be completely removed from the internet and you won't get this information. I want you to have this information. I want you to make these judgments for yourself. And if it's never seen on the internet, then you'll never be able to make these decisions and know the truth. All right. So we do what we have to do to get the information from us to you. And with that, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about Caitlyn Jenner in the comments below. And please try to keep it clean. Don't get me banned off the platform, but feel free to express yourself in as best you can with detail, without getting yourself in trouble and without getting me in trouble. If you remember the intro clip, then you remember Caitlyn Jenner, right out of her own mouth, she said it was so much easier to sell becoming transgender, to sell becoming transgender, to sell becoming transgender than it was trying to become a politician, trying to become a governor. All right. So do me a favor, leave that comment below, like this episode, follow me, subscribe to me, hit that subscribe button right now, follow, subscribe, like, leave that comment below, and please don't forget to share. Tell people about ARP. Tell people about AR.WTF. And don't you forget to bookmark it. Tell people about @Uncensored AR. Tell them about the American Reveille. And even if you don't know what it means, tell them that Quo Break is imminent. And like I said before, you can search ARP on all platforms. All right. You can search it on all platforms. And thank you again so much for letting me crack 100K, 110K plus on one video within a 48-hour period. The next goal we break is 1 million in 48 hours, and it's coming soon. Folks, check out the video that I posted, the one that went slightly viral, where I'm sweeping the garage floor, reacting to Joe Rogan. Check out all our other podcasts, episode 187, 188, 189, this one right here, 190. And of course, I'll see you next week on episode 191. I can't wait to read your very opinionated comments below. Folks, have a great rest of your work week. And if you'll excuse me, I have to get ready for court. How do I look? See you next week.